Are your bones feeling more brittle, your joints achier, or your steps less steady as the years pass? Do you worry about a fall that could fracture a hip or shatter your independence? You might blame age, osteoporosis, or genetics. But what if the real culprit is sitting on your plate right now? What I'm about to share may shock you. As an orthopaedic specialist who's treated thousands of seniors with weakening bones, I've uncovered a hidden truth. Certain everyday foods, often considered healthy, are silently eroding your bone strength. These aren't just sugary snacks or processed junk. I'm talking about foods you trust, ones you eat daily to stay well, that could be increasing your risk of fractures, falls, and pain. In this guide, I'll reveal the top 5 foods that could be weakening your bones with every bite and show you what to avoid, what to eat instead, and how to rebuild your skeletal strength. Stay with me, because the first food might be in your pantry today. If you find this helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to help me improve. Let's begin. 1. Soda, the fizzy drink. Dissolving your bones, that refreshing can of soda, regular or diet, feels like a harmless treat. But for seniors over 60, it's a silent bone destroyer. Soda, whether sugary or artificially sweetened, is loaded with phosphoric acid and other compounds that leach calcium from your bones, making them brittle and prone to fractures. I met Dorothy, a 72-year-old retiree from Texas, who came to my clinic after a minor fall left her with a wrist fracture. She was active, walked daily, and took calcium supplements, but her bones were dangerously weak. When I asked about her diet, she admitted to drinking 2 cans of cola daily for decades. She thought it was just a small indulgence. Here's the problem. Phosphoric acid in soda binds to calcium in your gut, preventing absorption. Over time, this starves your bones of the mineral they need to stay strong. For seniors, whose bodies already absorb less calcium, this is a recipe for osteoporosis. Dorothy's cola habit was quietly dissolving her skeleton, increasing her fracture risk with every sip. Worse, soda's high sugar or artificial sweeteners disrupt blood sugar, triggering inflammation that further weakens bone-building cells. I've seen patients with thinning bones, unexplained pain, and even stress fractures, all linked to regular soda consumption. Dorothy didn't feel the damage until her wrist snapped. The fix? Swap soda for water, herbal tea, or milk fortified with vitamin D to support bone health. Dorothy started drinking calcium-rich almond milk and cut soda entirely. Within 6 months, her bone density scans showed slight improvement, and she felt steadier. If you love fizzy drinks, try sparkling water with a splash of lemon. Your bones need protection, not punishment. 2. Salty. Snacks, the crunchy culprit. Crumbling your skeleton chips, pretzels, and salty crackers are easy grabs for a quick snack. But for seniors, these sodium-packed foods could be crumbling your bones. High sodium forces your kidneys to excrete calcium, robbing your bones of their primary building block and increasing fracture risk. Take George, a 68-year-old former mechanic from Ohio. He came to me with chronic back pain and a recent ankle fracture from a minor trip. George prided himself on avoiding sweets, but he munched on salty pretzels daily. His food journal revealed he was consuming over 3,000 milligrams of sodium a day, double the recommended 500 milligrams for seniors. Excess sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure, it pulls calcium from your bones to balance blood chemistry. Over time, this leads to bone loss, especially in the spine and hips, where fractures can be devastating. George's pretzel habit was silently weakening his skeleton, making every step a risk. The solution? Choose low-sodium snacks like unsalted nuts, fresh veggies, or air-popped popcorn. George switched to carrot sticks with hummus, cutting his sodium intake significantly. His back pain eased, and follow-up scans showed stabilised bone density. Check snack labels. Aim for under 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Your bones can't afford the salt overload. 3. Red meat, the protein powerhouse. That's hard on your bones. Red meat, like steak, burgers or pork, is a staple for many, prized for its protein and iron. But for seniors over 60, eating it too often could be weakening your bones. Red meat is high in protein, but excessive animal protein increases acid levels in your body, forcing your bones to release calcium to neutralize it. I treated Evelyn, a 74-year-old from Florida who loved her weekly steak dinners. She came to me after a hip fracture from a simple stumble. Evelyn was diligent about exercise and took calcium supplements, but her bone density was alarmingly low. Her diet revealed the issue: red meat 3 times a week, which was overloading her system with acid. High acid levels from red meat don't just stress your kidneys, they pull calcium from your bones, thinning them over time. For seniors whose bone-building cells slow down, this can accelerate osteoporosis. Evelyn's steak habit, paired with age-related bone loss, left her vulnerable to fractures that threatened her independence. The fix? Limit red meat to once a week and balance it with plant-based proteins like beans, lentils or tofu, which are less acidic. Evelyn switched to grilled salmon and chickpeas, rich in omega-3s and calcium-friendly nutrients. Her bone density stabilized, and she regained confidence in her mobility. If you love meat, choose lean cuts and pair with alkaline veggies like broccoli. Your bones need balance. 4. Coffee, the morning brew, brewing bone loss. Coffee is a morning ritual for millions, but for seniors, too much could be brewing trouble for your bones. Caffeine increases calcium excretion in urine and can interfere with its absorption, weakening your skeleton over time. For those with osteoporosis or low bone density, this is a serious risk. I met Frank, a 70-year-old retired teacher from New York, who drank 4 cups of coffee daily. He came to me after a vertebral fracture from lifting a grocery bag. Frank was stunned. His bones shouldn't be that fragile. His coffee habit was the hidden culprit, leaching calcium and reducing his bone strength. Caffeine doesn't just flush calcium, it can also reduce vitamin D absorption, critical for bone health. For seniors, who often have lower vitamin D levels, excessive coffee can tip the scales toward fractures. Frank didn't feel the damage, but his spine was silently weakening with every cup. The solution? Limit coffee to 1 or 2 cups daily and pair it with calcium-rich foods like yogurt or fortified milk. Frank cut back to 1 cup and added a vitamin D supplement. His bone density improved slightly and he avoided further fractures. If you love coffee, consider decaf or switch to green tea, which has less caffeine and bone-friendly antioxidants. Your skeleton deserves a break. 5. White rice, the side dish. Sapping your bone strength. White rice is a go-to side dish, fluffy, versatile, and seemingly harmless. But for seniors, this refined grain could be sapping your bone strength. Stripped of fibre and nutrients, white rice spikes blood sugar and lacks the minerals needed to support bone health, leaving your skeleton vulnerable. I treated Helen, a 76-year-old from California, who ate white rice with dinner most nights. She came to me after a fall fractured her pelvis. Helen was active and took calcium, but her bones were thinning rapidly. Her diet revealed the issue. White rice was a staple, providing empty calories and no bone-supporting nutrients. Refined grains like white rice cause blood sugar spikes that trigger inflammation, which impairs bone-building cells. Unlike whole grains, white rice lacks magnesium and vitamin K, essential for bone strength. For seniors who need nutrient-dense foods, white rice is a missed opportunity to nourish bones. The fix: swap white rice for whole grains like quinoa, brown rice or farro, which are rich in magnesium and fibre. Helen switched to quinoa with vegetables, and her bone density scans showed improvement within a year. Her energy stabilised, and she felt stronger. If you love rice, choose whole grain varieties and pair with calcium-rich greens. Your bones need nourishment, not empty carbs. 6. What should you do instead? By now you're seeing the pattern. Foods you thought were harmless, like soda, salty snacks, red meat, coffee or white rice, can silently weaken your bones. But here's the empowering truth. You can rebuild and protect your skeleton with smarter choices. I met Charles, an 80-year-old veteran from Illinois, who feared he'd never walk confidently again after a stress fracture. Charles loved his daily cola, chips and steak, but his bones were crumbling. After a fall, he was terrified of losing his independence. His story isn't unique. Many seniors unknowingly eat foods that erode their skeletal strength. But Charles turned it around, and so can you. First, prioritise calcium-rich foods. Dairy like yogurt or cheese, fortified plant milks, or leafy greens like kale and collards. Vitamin D is crucial. Get it from fatty fish, egg yolks, or sunlight exposure. Magnesium, found in nuts, seeds, and whole grains, supports bone structure. Charles started eating salmon, almonds, and quinoa, cutting out soda and salty snacks. Second, balance protein in and intake. Too much animal protein is acidic, but too little starves your bones. Aim for a mix of lean meats, fish, and plant-based proteins like lentils. Charles limited red meat to once a week and added beans to his meals. His bone density stabilised and he walked without pain. Third, move your body. Weight-bearing exercises like walking, dancing or light strength training stimulate bone growth. Even 10 minutes a day makes a difference. Charles started chair-based exercises, and within months he felt steadier. Your bones thrive on movement and nutrition working together. 7. The silent mistake. Weakening seniors' bones. The biggest mistake seniors make. Trusting healthy labels without understanding how aging changes your body's needs. After 60, your bones lose density faster. Your kidneys struggle to retain calcium and inflammation builds more easily. Foods like soda, salty snacks, red meat, coffee, or white rice, which seemed fine in your 40s, now tip the scales toward fragility. This damage isn't sudden. It's gradual, silent, and relentless. You don't feel your bones weakening until a fall or fracture steals your mobility. I've seen patients like Charles, Dorothy, and Helen lose confidence, not because of age, but because of dietary habits they could have changed. The hope? You can stop this decline today. Swap bone-draining foods for nutrient-dense options. Work with your doctor to monitor bone density and adjust your diet or supplements. Small changes, like cutting soda, choosing whole grains, or limiting coffee, can rebuild your skeletal strength and reduce fracture risk. Your bones carry you through life, your travels, your hobbies, your independence. Protecting them isn't just about avoiding breaks, it's about preserving your freedom. Charles now walks his dog daily, smiling with confidence. You can too, with knowledge and action. So, what's your next step? Reflect on one change you'll make, maybe ditching soda or trying quinoa. Share it in the comments to inspire others. Type 1 if this guide was helpful, or 0 if you want different content. Let's protect your bones and keep you strong for years to come.